Williams is synonymous with success in Formula One. Second only to Ferrari on Constructors' Championship wins. But in the late 2000s, it languished, a spent force on a downward spiral. A fresh approach ahead of F1's turbo hybrid era reignited the team's passion, while a switch to Mercedes power gave it drive.
This is a continually evolving process for us to get back to being a race-winning and championship-winning team.
2016 has seen a disappointing drop-off in performance, but the team is pushing hard to close the gap to rivals Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Can Williams bounce back as the season moves into its second half? You're watching The Inside Line. Williams is one of the great Formula One teams. Its glittering past comprising 9 constructors and 7 drivers' championships. Achieved with F1 luminaries like Alan Jones, Nelson Piquet, Nigel Mansell, and Alain Prost. But it's only in recent years that the historic team has been able to pick up the pace again in a desperate bid to re-establish past glories. Williams dominated throughout the 1980s and 90s, but it's been sporadic pickings since. Its last driver's title 19 years ago, care of Jacques Villeneuve. Its last race win in Spain 2012, care of its former driver Pastor Maldonado, who stormed to victory on merit ahead of Fernando Alonso. The British outfit's downfall began at the end of 2005, following a split with engine partner BMW after a 6-year deal. The breakup based on Williams's unwillingness to provide equity to the German manufacturer. Class-leading power gone, Williams went into freefall across the next 8 seasons, churning through 3 different engine suppliers. Also letting some supreme driving talent slip through its fingers, including Mark Webber and Nico Rosberg, as results fell through the floor. The team dropping to 8th in 2006 and 2008, and 9th in 2011 and 2013. The slide was arrested in 2014, at the start of the sport's turbo hybrid era. A Mercedes power unit deal again giving it class-leading grunt. The pieces of the puzzle were put in place 1 year earlier when Claire Williams, daughter of eponymous team owner Sir Frank, was promoted to become deputy team principal. Behind the scenes, Williams, with its board, put the necessary financial, technical, and sporting solutions in place. Recruiting Felipe Massa from Ferrari to partner hotshot Valtteri Bottas, who was set to become a star of the future. The difference was stark, with the pair netting 9 podiums in 2014, 4 in 2015, sealing 3rd spot in the Constructors' Championship across both campaigns. A shot in the arm for a team previously on its knees.
Showing the world that we're back and we have a really bright new future. We're not just this old team of the past.
For a team with such a successful past, only winning is good enough. And that still looks out of reach for Williams. Especially with the team on the slide this year, despite Massa and Bottas scoring points in the first 5 races. The FW38 unable to capitalize on the high-speed tracks it was strongest on last year. It's an affliction Williams' Chief Technical Officer Pat Simmons is keen to remedy, with an inquest into the squad's dramatic drop-off. We've got to look very deep into what we are doing now. We've got to be very honest with ourselves and get that performance back. Things weren't much better in Hungary, with Bottas finishing 9th, Massa 18th. But Germany, Belgium and Italy ahead should suit its car far more. Regardless, next year's technical regulation shakeup is an opportunity for Williams to rise again. And while the British squad is looking to the future, it's also very much aware of its recent past.
This is a team that's come from a position of being ninth just a few years ago, and we always need to remember that, and we need to remember how far we've come, and that's been the result of a lot of hard work by a lot of hard people.